camera flashes were relentless. The crowd outside the venue roared with excitement. And yet, hidden away from the spotlight, in a dimly lit room far from the elegant chaos of celebration, Song Joong-ki wiped silent tears from his eyes. The world was celebrating the grand wedding of Song Hye-kyo and Lee Min-ho, but for him, this day wasn't just a public spectacle. It was personal, deeply personal, and it hurt more than he ever expected. Before we reveal the real reason behind Song Joong-ki's emotional breakdown on the wedding day of his former flame, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss the next twist in this unbelievable story that shook the entire entertainment world. The internet was buzzing for weeks leading up to the wedding of the decade. Lee Min-ho and Song Hye-kyo, both titans of Korean drama, had announced their engagement with a quiet elegance that only elevated the anticipation. Fans around the globe were left stunned, especially since their relationship had bloomed largely away from public eyes. And yet, despite the excitement and congratulatory messages flooding social media, one name kept resurfacing in hushed tones and emotional comments: Song Joong-ki. He wasn't invited. At least, that's what people assumed. After all, he and Hye-kyo had once stood at the altar themselves. Their love story had captivated millions, blossoming on the set of Descendants of the Sun, culminating in a real-life marriage that once seemed untouchable. But life took its toll, and the couple divorced quietly, with mutual respect and no public drama. Or so it seemed. Insiders close to Song Joong-ki revealed that the news of Hye-kyo's engagement to Lee Min-ho came as a shock. Though the two had gone their separate ways, Joong-ki reportedly held on to a deep admiration and quiet affection for his former wife. He never spoke ill of her, not once, not even privately. His respect for her was unwavering. But the thought of her standing across from another man, wearing a wedding dress again, that hit differently. On the morning of the wedding, Song Joong-ki was reportedly on the set of a new film. But according to a crew member, he wasn't himself. He was quiet, withdrawn. He scrolled through his phone between takes, staring blankly at the screen. No one dared to ask what was bothering him, but his eyes said enough. And when the live photos from the wedding started flooding in online, that's when it happened. He excused himself from the set, walked into his trailer, and didn't come out for almost an hour. A makeup assistant who had been asked to check on him later confided that she found him sitting alone, head in his hands. There were tears in his eyes, real ones. Not the kind you cry in a drama, not the ones that come from acting. These were quiet, aching tears, the kind that only come when you realize something is truly over. Was it jealousy? Was it heartbreak? Or was it something else? Something deeper, more reflective? Perhaps it was the realization that no matter how much time passes, some people leave footprints on your heart that can never be washed away. According to another insider, Joong-ki had known about Lee Min-ho and Hye-kyo's relationship before it went public. It had been whispered among close circles in the industry for months. But he never commented, never asked questions, never intervened. He respected Hye-kyo's choices, even if it stung. Still, as the wedding approached, he reportedly confided in a friend that seeing her move on so publicly brought back everything. The memories, the regrets, the what-ifs. What made the whole situation more complicated was the nature of Lee Min-ho's rise in Hye-kyo's life. Unlike Joong-ki, whose romance with her bloomed out of a shared drama, Min-ho had a different kind of chemistry with Hye-kyo, slower, subtler, but no less real. They were first spotted having dinner in New York during Fashion Week, which fans assumed was nothing more than a casual meetup between A-listers. But behind that casual moment was a deepening bond. One that turned into quiet love. And when they went public, Joong-ki didn't flinch. He remained silent, not out of indifference, but out of respect. That's just who he is. But the wedding, it wasn't something he could just ignore, especially when the media started calling it the love story that should have happened first. It's no secret that some fans believed Hye-kyo and Min-ho's visuals and global appeal made them the ultimate match. But for Joong-ki, the whispers were painful reminders that he had once stood where Lee Min-ho was standing now. That once, he was the man holding her hand, watching her walk down the aisle, believing their story would last. And yet, here he was alone, not bitter, not angry, just quietly heartbroken. According to sources close to him, Joong-ki wasn't mourning the loss of a relationship. He had accepted the end long ago. What he mourned was the memory of what once was, the innocence of their beginning, the way they used to laugh off camera, The late-night phone calls and shared dreams of a quiet future. Those memories, buried deep, came flooding back as Hye-kyo smiled in wedding photos beside someone else. There's also something to be said about timing. Joong-ki, who had recently become a father with his current wife, was navigating his own new chapter. He wasn't unhappy, far from it, but even in joy, one can feel the sting of a past that was never fully resolved. Seeing Hye-kyo in a white dress again, with a different man, may have brought closure, but also a finality he wasn't ready for. It wasn't about wanting her back. It was about letting go truly, completely, for the first time. And as the wedding went on, with all its glamour and media frenzy, Joong-ki's absence was felt. Some fans wondered if he'd make a surprise appearance. After all, their breakup had been amicable. But instead, he stayed away. Out of sight, but not out of mind. Because while Hye-kyo said, "I do," one man, once the center of her universe, was quietly saying goodbye. Not with resentment, not with blame, but with the quiet grace of someone who had loved deeply, lost gently, and accepted that some stories aren't meant to end the way we imagine. As for Song Joong-ki's future, he's moving forward. His work continues. His new family is a source of strength. But the wedding of Song Hye-kyo and Lee Min-ho was a moment of reflection. A painful reminder that the past doesn't just vanish. It lingers, peeks in when you least expect it, and sometimes brings a tear to your eye even when your heart has moved on. Fans who once shipped the Song couple took to social media to express their mixed emotions. Some wrote heartfelt messages, thanking both stars for the memories. Others wept for Joong-ki's visible sadness, touched by his vulnerability and the quiet dignity with which he handled it. It's not often that celebrities allow themselves to feel so publicly, even unintentionally. But sometimes, the most human moments are the ones we don't script. So, why did Song Joong-ki cry on Song Hye-kyo's wedding day with Lee Min-ho? Because love, in all its forms, past, present, unspoken, never really leaves us. It shapes us. It teaches us. And sometimes, even when we've turned the page, a part of our heart stays behind on the last one. And that's what makes him real. That's what makes this story more than just headlines and rumors. It's about two people who once believed they had forever, until life had other plans. And one man, watching from afar, finally realizing that some goodbyes take years to finish. Make sure to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell for more emotional journeys, celebrity stories, and untold truths that go far beyond the surface. This isn't the end of the story, just another beginning. At this,
able to come all the way here to the Philippines and say hello to you guys, all the Filipino fans. So thank you so much for the opportunity. I am very happy and it's so nice to meet you guys all. Let's have some fun tonight, all right? Right.
All right, before we start, we were